Have you ever wondered why you can't stop at just one scoop of Ben & Jerry's ice cream? Or why chocolate chip cookies seem to disappear by the handful? It's not an accident. It's science, strategy, and a little bit of magic. Behind every bite of ice cream and every warm cookie is a carefully engineered process designed to make you crave more. Today we're pulling back the curtain on one of America's sweetest obsessions. From the small-town roots of Ben & Jerry's to the industrial power behind those chewy chocolate chip cookies, you're about to see how your favorite desserts go from raw ingredients to irresistible treats. Trust me, by the time you finish reading this, you'll never look at a pint of ice cream or a cookie the same way again. Ben & Jerry's isn't just an ice cream brand, it's a cultural icon. Born in 1978 in a converted gas station in Burlington, Vermont, the company was the brainchild of two hippies with one simple belief: the more toppings, the more fun. They didn't want to make just ice cream. They wanted to make dessert an experience. Big chunks, bold flavors, and combinations no one else dared to try. That rebellious spirit turned a tiny local shop into a global phenomenon. Today, Ben & Jerry's operates under the Unilever umbrella, one of the biggest food companies in the world. But despite that corporate muscle, the brand has stayed true to its original vibe: indulgence without apology. And when you open a pint, you're tasting the result of decades of innovation, engineering, and precision. So how do they make this over-the-top ice cream? It all begins with fresh milk and cream delivered daily from local Vermont dairy farms. The moment those chilled milk trucks roll up, the countdown begins. Inside the factory, where the temperature is carefully kept below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, towering stainless steel tanks hold the raw ingredients: whole milk, heavy cream, and pure cane sugar. Every ingredient is measured down to the decimal because when you're making millions of pints, precision isn't optional, it's everything. A typical base mix contains about 60% milk, 36% cream, and 14% sugar. No guessing, no shortcuts. Once mixed, the base travels through a closed pipeline system straight to the pasteurization stage. There's zero human contact, zero contamination. The goal is safety, purity, and consistency. Pasteurization is a critical step. The mixture is heated to around 185 degrees Fahrenheit for a precise amount of time to kill harmful bacteria without cooking the flavor out of the milk. Too long and the taste changes. Too short and you risk contamination. Immediately after, the mixture is flash-cooled to just above freezing in a matter of seconds. This thermal shock locks in freshness and prevents fats and proteins from breaking down. Next comes homogenization. Ever wondered why premium ice cream feels so smooth? This is why. The mixture is forced through tiny openings under intense pressure, up to 2000 psi, to break fat molecules into microscopic droplets. That prevents clumping and ensures a creamy, uniform texture in every bite. But we're not done. Before this mix turns into ice cream, it needs to age. Yes, age. The base rests in sealed, refrigerated tanks for anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. During this time, fat begins to crystallize, proteins stabilize, and sugars fully dissolve. This step gives the ice cream body and structure. It's what allows Ben & Jerry's to pack in those massive chunks of brownies and rivers of caramel without the whole pint collapsing into a soupy mess. There are no artificial stabilizers here. No chemical hacks. Just time and temperature doing their job the old-fashioned way. Once the base is ready, flavor takes the stage. And if you think someone is standing there with a wooden spoon stirring in vanilla, think again. This is all automated, yet carefully programmed for perfection. Each flavor component, from natural vanilla extract to gooey fudge, is stored in separate temperature-controlled tanks. Caramel needs to stay warm and fluid. Cookie dough needs to stay cold and firm. Pumps and valves send each ingredient into the mixing stream at just the right moment, so you get perfectly layered swirls and evenly distributed chunks in every pint. Want those iconic caramel ribbons in your salted caramel core? That's no accident. It's a recipe written into the machine's code. And then there's the toppings, the soul of Ben & Jerry's. Cookie dough chunks, brownie bites, marshmallows, chocolate chips, peanut butter cups. These aren't just sprinkled in. They're added with surgical precision through a device called a chunk feeder. This machine vibrates and stirs toppings into the ice cream flow at the perfect speed so nothing breaks apart or clogs the line. Cookie dough, for example, must stay at -14 degrees Fahrenheit to keep its shape. Marshmallows are sticky, so they're added in thin coils. Every topping has a rule, and every rule has been tested for years to guarantee that satisfying bite you know and love. From here, the ice cream moves straight into an automatic filler. Pints line up under stainless steel spouts, and each one is filled with exactly 16 ounces of frozen heaven at a blistering speed, about 400 pints per minute. Lids snap on tight, batch codes get printed, and the pints race down a conveyor belt into the hardening tunnel. This is where the magic of texture happens. In just a few minutes, the ice cream is frozen solid in an environment that's colder than Antarctica, around -40 degrees Fahrenheit. Why so cold? Because the faster you freeze, the smaller the ice crystals. And smaller crystals mean smoother ice cream. From there, it's into cartons, onto pallets, and into freezer trucks that crisscross America until they land in your grocery store. By the time you peel back that lid at home, what you're holding isn't just dessert. It's a product of engineering, creativity, and an unspoken mission: make it impossible for you to stop at one scoop. But what happens when that craving shifts from frozen to baked? Enter another American legend, the chocolate chip cookie. If ice cream is indulgence in a cup, cookies are nostalgia you can hold in your hand. The story of the chocolate chip cookie begins in 1938 in Whitman, Massachusetts. Ruth Wakefield, owner of the Toll House Inn, was trying to make chocolate cookies. She chopped up a Nestle chocolate bar, expecting it to melt completely. It didn't. Instead, the chocolate softened but held its shape, creating pockets of gooey goodness inside a buttery cookie. That mistake sparked a baking revolution, and soon chocolate chip cookies became a household staple. Fast forward to today, and Americans eat more than 7 billion of them every year. But they're not made the way Ruth did in her kitchen. Today's cookies are the product of precision machinery, high-tech ovens, and carefully crafted formulas designed to keep you coming back for just one more. The process starts with giant mixers, each capable of blending hundreds of pounds of dough at once. Ingredients are pre-measured and added in sequence. Flour for structure, white sugar for crisp edges, brown sugar for that chewy center, eggs for richness, and butter, softened just right to avoid clumps. Everything is mixed slowly and thoroughly to create a smooth, uniform dough. Finally, the star of the show, chocolate chips. They're added gently at the end to avoid breaking them into tiny shards. Once the dough is ready, it moves to the portioning machine. This isn't someone with a scoop and a baking sheet. It's a precision system that drops perfectly shaped dough balls onto trays like clockwork. Each piece weighs exactly 35 grams. Every cookie is round, uniform, and spaced so precisely that no two touch during baking. Those trays glide into a massive tunnel oven, where the temperature hovers around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The journey through the oven lasts about 8 to 11 minutes, long enough to melt the butter, activate the baking soda, and create that perfect balance of crispy edges and soft centers. No one is opening an oven door to peek. Computers control every variable: heat zones, conveyor speed, moisture. If a batch is even a few seconds off, it could be too dry or underbaked. Once they emerge golden brown, the cookies head to cooling conveyors, where they rest under a gentle stream of air for about 15 minutes. Cooling too fast would cause cracks, too slow and they'd stick together. When they're ready, robotic arms gently pack them into trays or stack them for wrapping. Each package is sealed, weighed, labeled, and coded. From there, it's into cartons, onto pallets, and out the door.